Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your January 27th cattle industry headlines, brought to you by AgRisk Advisors. They provide risk management programs to livestock producers all throughout the West. Whether you are concerned about price or weather risk, AgRisk Advisors, they are here to help. With current day market fluctuations, there is nothing more important than locking in a price floor on your cattle. So if you would like to learn more about an LRP, go ahead and reach out to an advisor today. Also sponsored by Real Beef Made from Plants campaign. The creative folks over at American Beef Producer Magazine are now offering t-shirts, hats, and bumper stickers that promote wholesome, nutritious beef. If you'd like to check out what they have to offer, head on over to realbeef.store. According to Reuters, the chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee on Economic and Consumer Policy, Representative Raja Krishnamurthy, he sent a letter on Tuesday to Tyson, JBS, National Beef, and Seaboard Foods seeking information on rising prices and profits. Representative Krishnamurthy said that some of these companies claim that high prices contributing to these outrageous profits are explained by higher input costs, but earnings data tells a different story. He went on to say that he is very worried that meat processing conglomerates may have engaged in predatory business practices at the expense of consumers during the pandemic. The letter requested that each company submit information and documents explaining their decision to increase prices for their products despite rising profits. Additionally, the letter would like an explanation about what the companies plan to do to lower prices in the coming year. Net profits for the Big Four meat packers shot up over 300% since the beginning of the pandemic. And obviously, when this happened, these companies increased their profits at the expense of the American consumer. Brownfield Ag News has reported that despite calls from the American Farm Bureau to revise Senator Chuck Grassley's cattle market transparency bill, the senator says that he will continue to push for progress on the bill. According to Grassley, the regional approach to mandatory negotiated cash trade allows for flexibility. The biggest pushback is coming from large commercial feedlots. I would just hope that the National Beef Association, or whatever their official title is, would want to speak for Iowa family farmers as much as they want to speak for big commercial feedlots, said Grassley. Next week is NCBA's National Convention down in Houston, Texas. Hopefully after that meeting, we will know where they stand on this bill. Fox 31 News out of Denver, Colorado, has reported that after calling ranchers in Colorado lazy and nasty, ranchers across the state called for Governor Jared Polis to remove Ellen Kessler from the State Board of Vet Medicine. They finally got their wish on Monday afternoon when the governor's office confirmed that Kessler resigned from her position on the board. Kessler's demise came when she recently made a statement about coexisting with wildlife. To quote Kessler, would our lazy and nasty ranchers and cattlemen even raise a finger to to make something like this work? Or is using a cow to bait the wolves a solution? Obviously, this statement that she made was referring to recent wolf attacks on cattle and a working dog on the western slope of Colorado. It is fantastic to know that that woman will not be on the board. According to Rabobank's latest Global Animal Protein Outlook report for 2022, annual fed cattle slaughter this year could drop as much as 2.5% compared to 2021. Cattle numbers and packing capacity should find relative balance by mid-year, according to Rabobank. The report projects that packer margins will remain healthy compared to pre-pandemic levels, but the price spread between beef and cattle will begin a multi-year narrowing trend this year. Hopefully that is true. According to a report released by Meat and Livestock Australia, also known as MLA, Australia is dealing with empty shelves at their grocery stores, just like we are here in the United States. Staff shortages caused by COVID-19 are being blamed for these empty shelves. Slaughter rates have been greatly impacted over in Australia by these staff shortages, again, because of COVID. According to MLA, national slaughter has been reduced by 40% compared to 2020. Local 4 News out of North Platte has reported that during her stop in North Platte, Nebraska, Senator Deb Fischer praised the efforts of those behind Sustainable Beef LLC. She believes that sustainable beef will not only sustain the cattle industry, but also the ag industry as a whole. While in North Platte, she also touched on the topic of transparent labeling for beef products. According to Senator Fischer, the World Trade Organization has ruled that the U.S. cannot implement mandatory country of origin labeling, and if we did, there would be penalties. Senator Fischer said herself and other senators have tried to rectify that situation in Congress, but they have been unable to. That is all I have for you guys this morning. That is all I have for you guys this week. You guys have yourself a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week.